Started here. If you guys do have audio, just let me know in the chat real quick. I'll check the chat in just a second. Just to make sure, just let me know. And we'll go ahead and get started in the meantime. Sound good. Okay. All right, so number one, we have ALZN leading gapper this morning. We did play this morning for 2 small profits. You know, struggled to really make any moves on it. Took a few pullbacks, sold up into strength. ALZ on the first entry was the 590s, was at 590 all the way to about 680s. 691 was the final sell. Then played it again for another little pullback and didn't really get a whole lot. Small win again. So unfortunately, follow through after what, 7 o'clock or so has been kind of crappy. And so for that reason, we got to just see what's going to happen out of the open today. A lot of these setups I do like a lot. Like ALZN, you still have plenty of range on this. You have range. You can probably get a retest at 8. I know you tested 725 earlier this morning, but you know, as much as I dislike the stock, I think you could catch a nice move. The momentum here is clear. It looks good. Price action was pretty decent most of the morning. Like I said, it was a little bit sideways after 8, but apart from that, it's trading okay. I don't love ALZN. It's got ties with, I don't know how long some of you have been trading, but with DPW, Nile. I forget the CEO's name. It was, anyways, he's a mess. And so a lot of these stocks, whenever they pump like this, they don't hold their gains too well. You've probably traded Nile before. Did they do a ticker change again? Did they really do another ticker change? That is insane. There's no way. I haven't even kept up with the stock. Yeah, they did another change. Wow, that's crazy. What did it change to? Or did it delist? Now it's going to bother me. What did it change to? Anyways, not worth my time to look, but CEO runs through companies like crazy, changes tickers like crazy. It's pretty much a scam artist. So I don't love trading these stocks. He's got a large percent of equity in ALZN, and so for that reason, it usually trades like crap. You can even tell looking at the weekly time frame. I mean, this thing's usually a piece of junk, and so I'd be careful. I'd be careful. I would be probably treating it almost like a China stock today. I'd be kind of tight with it. I'd probably be maybe a little bit smaller, but it might give us opportunity, so I still want to look at it. The float here is 810,000 shares, so it is super, super thin, and that could obviously aid in that volatility today. I think they had a reverse split recently as well. Maybe not super recently, but at least somewhat in the recent past. And so I do want to watch this today. Most likely, honestly, watch it over the pre-market highs over $7. I was going to say let's watch it off VWAP, and you really could. I suppose you could do that. We'll just have to see where it's at heading into the bell today. So you can either watch it over, we can say $6, either watch it over 6 or watch it over 720. And that's really your only 2 options here. That's literally your only 2 options. So either over 6 or over 720. That's it. That's all you got. I'll have to look later about Nile, though. I don't know if they delisted or if they changed tickers. I just stopped looking at the stocks related to whatever his name is. I forget. It's been so long ago. But anywho, yeah, ALZN, that's my 2 ways to watch this morning, either off of 6 or over the pre-market highs. Let me get my notepad up over here. It's a really good look, though, I will say. As long as it trades clean, I've got nothing wrong with actually just trading it, but just keep it a little bit tighter and maybe, you know, prioritize defense a little bit more. Just scale a little bit quicker, just because these stocks tend to not hold their gains too well. And so just keep that in mind. Hold on, I'm tagged in the chat. What's wrong? Somebody said no sound. Do we have sound? It changed to alt. Okay. Yeah, it changed to his name now. Yeah, I'm telling you, they have changed tickers so many times. It is absurd. Never seen a stock change ticker so many times. Sound is good. Yeah, the reason why they do it, it's almost like changing a business name. And they do it so that consumers and investors, you know, forget about how the stock treated them in the past. And so they just keep on doing it. That way they can keep on, you know, raising financing and dropping more offerings, and then more reverse splits and just crushing investors more and more. It's really something else. But let's watch this today on LZN. Regardless of all of that, we'll still take a look and see if there's any opportunity. ALZN, though, watch it over, honestly, at this point, let's just watch it over 715. And your range here today over that 715, you've got the 200 moving average sitting right overhead on the daily at $8. And over that, you've got the range to about 950. So you've got 8 and 950. I think 8 is probably the more realistic number, obviously, but the next level after that is the mid-9s. So keep that in mind. But really watching this little tightening wedge breakout over 715 over the pre-market highs would give you a nice place to risk and give you plenty of range to the upside too to try and get a little bit of something out of this. Maybe back up into the, like I said, 8s and 9s. But anything lower, I don't like. It's just not a great look. It's just not a great look. So we can do that. Again, watch it over the pre-market highs out of the open today. We're going to have to give it more time to confirm, though, after the bell. This is one of those, like I said, it typically does not hold its gains. So it's one of those that are very prone to faking out, grabbing liquidity over the highs on these breakouts. So I'm going to want it to see maybe a few candles of confirmation after the bell if I do want to play this, or after the breakout, per se, if I do want to play this. Otherwise, you're so prone to getting stuck in a fake out over the highs, and so you really have to be careful. And that's why it's important to understand how some of these stocks trade, because every stock is different, and stocks have personalities. And, you know, these stocks related to ALZN, alt, whatever the ticker is now, tends to fake you out, tends to be pretty choppy. All right. VRAX, I do want to watch today. This thing is still up 150% this morning. After, I see no news on trade ideas, but I did see in chat this morning somebody mentioned that it was up due to monkeypox. Let me confirm that real quick. I believe it. I mean, it fits the theme right now, and that's why it's up so much this morning, but just want to double check. Just want to double check. It's not on Webull either. Let's check some other. Let's see, what have we got? Yeah, okay, monkeypox. All right. So just had to confirm. Always better to do your own due diligence. And so real quick, had to run through it, make sure we got a reason for it to be up related to the theme. ALZN breaking 7, guys. Watch the pullbacks on ALZN. I'm going to be looking at VRAX here, but watch the pullbacks on ALZN. Give it a few candles, though. Give it a few candles. Look for a lower volume pullback. Do not chase these green candles on it. I'll pull it up and explain it to you here as we watch it. Do not chase, whatever you do not chase these green candles on ALZN. It's not a forgiving stock that you can just jump on into and hope for a break of 8. Give it time to confirm. Wait a few candles. Wait for a lower volume retracement back into the mid-7s, which you're not seeing yet. You want to at least see a few more candle closes. And that's what you're going to use as confirmation. If it can hold over that level, you can assume the market is comfortable with price where it's at. And so you can tell by how it's trading here that, you know, buyers are still finding some interest up here over the highs. So I'd really be watching this thing for pullbacks. I mean, you're talking like 740, 750s. I mean, it looks pretty good. This thing looks really good. If you're patient, if you're picky, and you wait for confirmation, look at how these pullbacks are getting bought back up here. Look at the dips down to the 7.5s, how it just got bought back up to 770. And so what this is it shows confirmation, right? Because it's held over the level. It's pulled back to retest the level, and it found buyers off that level again. And that confirms buyers like price and are comfortable with price, you know, where it's currently trading on the chart here. So I'd keep on watching pullbacks on this thing. And just keep in mind what I said about it earlier. ALZN and alt and all those, they tend to trade kind of crappy. And so I would be very, very defensive and very picky. If you can't get a picky entry, obviously you're not trading it. But by taking those awesome pullbacks, it gives you a really nice way to play the dips. Now, I'm not in it personally right now. Probably not going to be trading it myself. I'm still trying to watch some other things right here to plan for the open. But I'm trying to walk you through it here so you know what to be looking at on ALZN. But again, personally not going to be trading it. I need to be getting ready for the open. We only have about 15 minutes. So VRAX is what I'm going to be looking at here in the meantime. But definitely keep your eyes on ALZN. Those pullbacks are going to pay. Here it is, 770 already, giving you a chance to scale some out. And just make sure you keep your eyes on that. They're 780s now. And don't get greedy and don't chase it up here. Like I mentioned earlier, watching those pullbacks earlier when it pulled back into the 750s, that was spot on. Now you're already retesting almost the highs again here. Looks good. All right, let's see what else we have. VRAX, I do want to watch. Let me take a look real quick at the daily for range and see if we have much range left. You do have 550, but we already actually broke and retested that earlier. Let's see. Range is a tricky one over here on VRAX. I see the 4.6. Do I want to watch it on 460 or 450? That might be the best bet, is over 450 today on VRAX. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let's watch VRAX over 450 out of the open today. At that point, still holds over a majority of its move this morning, and it still has the range back to retest the highs up here around 550. And so I don't mind that. So if we can watch the dips out of the open today over 450, look for them to back up into the mid fives. Over mid fives, you've got the range here back up into the sixes. We'll say 6 to about 660. And again, I'm not an LZN, so I'm going to be watching it after the bell today. But regardless, it is one to be keeping an eye on off of these pullbacks. All right, so VRAX, we're going to be watching this one off of 450 out of the open today. Off of some pullbacks, and you've got the range here back to 550, and we'll say 660. I was going to say 6 and 660, but we'll just kind of use our range there of the low and the high, and just assume we're going to find sellers in between. But 550, 660, it's a pretty good look. That pullback is getting bought up again on ALZN. Let me check the chat, make sure we still got the... Okay, we still got sound. Good. I always try to double check now. Always try to double check. Let's see. APDN, this one went pretty nuts in pre-market from our nightly watch list last night. It's already hit our targets, though. There's not really much range left in this. If anything, it already tested our range levels this morning. And so, for that reason, leaving it be. I don't like it. I wish that I did. And I might like it after the open. Maybe it sets up again in a better way. But right now, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. At least not down here. It might have to confirm a bit of a move after the open first, set up itself for the day. Then we can look at it. But right now, it's a big no bueno for me. I don't like it. I just simply don't like APDN right now. Just because last night's watch list plan was to watch it over, what was it, like 90 cents or so? 84 cents. I forget what the levels were. But, I mean, obviously, we're nowhere near that right now. It's already gapped up huge this morning from that watch list plan. Here's your curl again on ALZN. So those pullbacks are printing you cash right now, as long as you're trading it properly, not chasing. But that is good stuff. Keeping an eye on it. TNXP up this morning. Kind of some choppy-ish price action here. Little choppy price action. Looks like it is up off of earnings. There's your move back to the upside on ALZN. If you caught those pullbacks in the 750s, it gave you two opportunities. Like we mentioned, looking for those pullbacks in the 750s gave you that opportunity. At this point, it's gone. It's long gone. She's done. She's gone. Make sure you have rate stops to break even and at least trim some profits up here over 780 because that's an awesome move. That's an awesome, easy move from 750 to 780s already off those pullbacks. Right now, though, good time to raise those stops to make it a risk-free trade. TNXP, do we have any range? Let's take a look. Right now, trading in the 60s at 66 cents. This daily, for one, is hideous. What did it test this morning? It already tested 78 cents this morning. No, I don't like this. I do not like Maxon, though. Look at MAXAN. What did I just say? MAXN. What a mouthful. I do want to look at this one this morning, too. Starting to get some volume here going into the open. Pretty wild chart here on the daily. Currently trading at 17 cents. Let's see, are we over this little gap here on the daily? Let me see. Why is my chart screwed here? Hold on one sec. There we go. Okay. Let's see what we got. Pretty good look, though. Not bad. Not too shabby. Let me pull this up and take a look and see where our range is to. Well, you're not up in the gap on the daily yet, but it at least gives incentive, though. Yeah, there's at least incentive over the highs there. And so I do want to watch it if we can still hold some volume after the open today. ALZN did break below entry, though, so if you were in that, hopefully you took profits and was able to take a small win on it. Max, no, we're at 17 cents, so 50%. It's got range first and foremost. I mean, really, you've got range to 28 cents. You've got 28. Let's see, we're still at 1740s though, so we're actually below the lows from back here in July still. Let's see, daily wise, you've got the range though, and I feel like that's so much range, it gives you plenty of incentive. As long as it finds some buyers after open, it is a good look. And you've got the range of 28 and 30. Obviously, I don't know if that's going to happen today. I wouldn't say it's too much to ask for. This is a penny stock after all, but what is this? I don't see news this morning on trade ideas, at least not on trade ideas yet. I want to watch it for sure. We've got the range here. I would say from here, you've got range of 22. So you've got 22 cents overhead, which is okay. It gives you enough range. It gives you, what, 20% of range from here. So we'll look for 20 cents, maybe 28 cents. That's going to be our max range, in my opinion. So MAXN, watching it, we're going to say watch it off of, or at least over. I'll change it to over because I need to see volume first. If we're looking for low volume pullbacks, I always say off. If we're looking for a large volume move to the upside or just large volume confirmation, I always say over, right? And does that kind of make sense? I'm looking for pullbacks off of a level, or I'm watching volume over a level. And that's kind of how I memorize what I'm looking for. If I say over, I'm looking for volume. If I say off, I'm looking for a lower volume pullback. Hopefully it kind of makes sense. But on this one, I do want to watch it over for volume. Over 1660. Let's see what we got here. So let me get this typed up. Over 1660, if we do find volume after the open. You have got range here to 20, possibly 28 cents. I know that's kind of a big jump from 20 to 28, but that's what I'm looking at here on the daily with this little range that's traded back here in the past. Okay, so that looks really good. I like that. As long as it finds volume. Let us see, what else are we working with? Right now we've got 3 top watches into the open today. Let's see. And the good thing about the gappers we do have so far this morning is they're not just little piddly gappers. I mean, we've got some pretty massive gappers this morning. We've got 2. One of them is up 245%. The other one is up 140%. The other one is up 100%. So I'm talking like we've got some actual gappers this morning, which we haven't seen in a while. It's a good look for small caps. Now it's just a matter of how they trade after the open. Are they going to continue in their current trend? Or are they going to just fake out and fade and just give back their moves from pre-market? We'll have to see. And that's going to be the gauge of how this week is going to go, really. Let's see. BBD, not a fan. A lot of these I don't like. Not much volume. Really, all these gappers down here, all we really have is the first top 3. You've got ALZN, VRAX, and MAXN. And I didn't like APDN anymore. So really, I mean, if you want to stick to the theme today, I think that, just by keeping your focus on what's going to be, I guess most active, you're looking at really this VRAX. VRAX, ALZN looks pretty good, so ALZN and VRAX. MAXN looks good too, but it's one of those that needs to set up a bit better before I can really say that I'm going to play it, obviously. But I'd say there's a pretty good chance we play either ALZN or VRAX today. I've also got a pretty lengthy list on the nightly watch list too, which I'm going to quickly go over as well. Some of those are monkeypox stocks like GOVX from Friday we played. This thing rocketed this morning too. I mean, it's up at $10 a share, and this thing is nuts. We played it Friday a few times. Excuse me. Played it Friday a few times off of the whole monkeypox stuff. It's already at targets. It's already at target, so I got to see kind of where we have range to today, if anything. Let me take a look here and take a look at the daily. Up at $10. Let's see. Somebody said sound lost. Did we actually lose sound? Or are we good? Y'all keep scaring me with the sound loss messages. Sound is good. Wait until there's like 30 seconds of silence or like a minute of silence, and then we can say there's sound lost. I think I'm coming down with COVID, so if I keep on clearing my throat or like the mic goes muted for a second, I'm coughing. Because I was around my dad last week. I went and visited him. He's called me the other day and he was like, "Oh, I got COVID." So I'm like, "Oh, great." So I think I'm coming down with COVID. But anyways, hopefully not. I don't know. Might be placebo. Okay, so GOVX we do want to watch today. We have range to about $12. Got range of $12, which was this morning's range too. We hit $12. So what we can try to do is play this range this morning. I don't know how much I love this. I might like it more over 12. Just because we are trying to break this structure here as we head into the open. Yeah, I don't love this. So what I'd actually have to look for is either a entry above 1040. Look for strength over VWAP out of the open for a low volume pullback, risking 1040. Or look at it over 12. Because we've got these higher lows formed here in pre-market. But you see how we started to break this here? We broke structure here right around, what, 9 o'clock? So I got to see it reclaim structure over 1040. So this is going to be over 1040 or over $12, or we'll say 1190. It's the only way that I can see playing it today. And over 12, you do have range to, I mean, honestly, $14, $15 shouldn't be an issue if you do get the break of 12. All right, so we've got GOVX to watch from the watch list. APDN, we already went over. And we also have Starbucks today. I will say, okay, this is obviously not going to be in play. This thing gapped down in pre-market. What I was going to say is, even if this was setting up for us on Starbucks, I probably still wouldn't play it today. Just because small caps are so active this morning, you've got to focus on where the activity is. And obviously we can capitalize more in small cap stocks. Or at least most of you can, a majority of us, or you guys can capitalize more in small cap stocks than you can trading something like a Starbucks. And so I want to make sure we're focusing on where that opportunity is going to be. It looks like we've got 4 things to watch this morning, which typically I would say is not a whole lot, but it is Monday, and so I'm not really too surprised. You know, not to mention the whole, I mean, the size of the gappers we have this morning, really. It's really the size of the gappers we have this morning. So that really plays a huge role. And so I'm looking forward to today still, even though we only have 4 setups to watch. I mean, really the past, like our best days, I feel like are the days where we can come in and just focus on, you know, 2 or 3 setups, if that, even 1 or 2 setups, and just trade it multiple times. We did that on Friday with ASTS. We also played GOVX a few times, did amazing on it. It's just like those days where you have the 1 or 2 setups that are just predictable, clean. That's when we see the best results. So you've got to make sure you're really focused, not trying to jump around to a million charts. Let's be real, you're never going to execute properly that way because you're going to be jumping around rather than focusing on price action on the one individual setup you like. You're trying to jump around and find setups on a million different things. And like we always say, you know, there's going to be thousands of opportunities in the market every day. Your job is not to catch them all. Your job is not to catch them all. Your job is to catch the 1 or 2 that you plan for and just trade them properly. All right, make sure you have all these charts pulled up, marked up, ready to go. We have about 2 minutes, actually 1 minute now. So go ahead and do that. The levels are on the screen. Those of you on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm going to go and shut down those streams now to get ready for the open. We have 4 stocks to watch into the open today. Should be a pretty big Monday, it looks like, after we had all this activity in pre-market. So I'm looking forward to it. If you want to watch me trade live, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. All right.